It is the 19th of August, 2026. It is 11:52 a.m. Central Time in Texas. Just before lunchtime, I just had lunch. I woke up this morning. I had to do yard work. I had to get the yard clean and in order. Um, we're hitting that time of the season. It's pretty nice. The the speed with which the grass grows is slowing down. There's a metaphor in that somewhere. Um, so that's nice. So like it's getting a lot. I mean, like it's a lot faster now. Like it's getting mowing the lawn. Like 'cause it's not growing that much every couple of weeks anymore. It really isn't. Um, I'm also very proud to say my yard is completely weed free. So that's that's a good one. I don't got any weeds. I don't got nothing in my yard. It's clean. It is a normal. So it's a normal Texas yard, which is to say I ain't watering this motherfucker. So it has some dead spots, but it's short. It's good, and it has slowed down. Um, and then hey Diogo. Uh, and then that takes us to news. So Dread Corbin posted Supersonic and Super Shadow Fortnite Styles transformation emotes. Haven't watched that yet. So I'm going to check that out. Hold on, because I got a few other notifications now that I've decided. Of course, I decided to go live. My Halo 2 video is doing really well. That's nice. On TikTok.
Honey, he's gay. They're both.
Nope. I keep getting notifications on TikTok. Yeah. Okay. Now we're caught up. So tomorrow's a new Fortnite season. I'm very excited. Let's see. What's this trailer? That's loud. That was loud. Oh, cool. Right on. I mean, Sonic the Hedgehog is basically Dragon Ball. Um, uh, it is basically Dragon Ball. TikTok, man. TikTok is fun. I don't think there's anything else. And maybe there's a Power World collab coming to No Man's Sky? Bucky from Power World said, "Dear at No Man's Sky, I wrote you, but you still ain't calling. I left my cell, my pager, and my home phone at the bottom. I sent 2 letters back in autumn. You must not have got them. Anyway, hope you get this, man. Hit me back, just to chat." Sean Murray then replied, "Come to think about it, his name was... it was you. Damn." That's a meme. I don't know if that's just because my brain anyway. I digress. But and then the Xbox at Gamescom broadcast on Wednesday, the 26th of August. Xbox is showing off Minecraft Dungeons 2, Gears of War E-Day, Alien Deathstorm, Tomb Raider Legacy of Atlantis, Mega Man Dual Override, Forza Horizon 6, Fable, Crazy Taxi World Tour, Persona 4 Revival, Where Winds Meet, Star Wars Galactic Racer, Warhammer 40k Dark Heresy, Terrible Lizards. Then on Thursday, the 27th of August, they are showing off Flight Simulator, Dragon's Dogma 2 Dark Arisen, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 4. Oh, I forgot. Yeah, that beta. I can play that. Is that today or tomorrow where the beta for pre-orders? Because I pre-ordered Call of Duty. I'm going to play that. There's going to be here's some Fortnite, here's some Call of Duty. Anyway, Turok Origins. Turok? I don't know. Stranger Than Heaven, Stuntman Hollywood, Planet Zoo 2, Cassette Beast 2002. That's my year! Dune Awakening, Kingdom 3, Rising Realms, Armistice, Deep Dish Dungeon, The Seance of Blake Manor, Days, Son of Tanja, Archeron, that was my stripper name, Halston, Tides of Annihilation. That was also my stripper name. Albion Online. I'm sorry, my friend just. Milicinir? I don't know what that word is. Anyway, I think all this can be skipped. No offense to Call of Duty. I say, as somebody who pre-ordered Call of Duty, no offense, but I think this can all pretty much. Something groundbreaking there. Okay, anyway, next up. How are we doing on other news? Still no Zelda news. And honestly, even on days where every day I go live, you're going to hear some mention about Zelda because I'm waiting, Nintendo! And still no Zelda announcement. Let's see. No Zelda. Pager. Diego asks, "Are pagers still a thing?" I mean, again, it's just a joke. It's just being silly. Um. Oh wow. Okay. Well, for what it's worth, as a Star Wars fan who's curious, for what it's worth, Sean Levy has confirmed, which we knew this, but it hadn't been confirmed. You know, it's an important distinction. Sean Levy has confirmed that Star Wars Starfighter does take place the after the Rise of Skywalker, but we still don't know. I'm looking to make sure. He still hasn't said how many years after. Now, the leak says 5 years. We'll see what carries over. But that's been confirmed, so that's nice. That's a nice little fun thing for the day. Hey! Avengers Secret Wars begins production in the UK. This is wild. Okay. I don't know what's going on with Marvel. I have no idea. Avengers Secret Wars did begin production today in the UK. On day 1, the production announced a 5-week hiatus because they do not have a script. Production will technically resume. Production will resume at the end of September. And I'm going to copy and paste this over into the Discord. There we go. Let's see. Diego says, which terrible future the X-Men has stopped from becoming true do you think the MCU will do first? I don't think they're going to do any time travel after all this nonsense. I think it's going to be a while before we get to that. I think if they do Apocalypse, it's not going to really have anything to do with time travel. I really think they're going to avoid it. I mean, I'm being honest with you. They are not going to do it. They're not going to come off all this and then throw the X-Men into it. Now, if all these leaks and if all this stuff is true, we are building up to Apocalypse to be the villain for the first go. But there is no leaks, there's nothing about time travel whatsoever, so I don't expect anything to be about somebody coming from the future. I really don't. I think it's going to be about some kind of psychic thing with Apocalypse or some kind of like metaphysical shit, but I don't think we're going to have any kind of time travel stuff like that. Fly Guy reacted. Um, I mean, yeah, well, again, Kevin Feige said it himself. They could do hundreds of phases, all leading up to major X-Men stories. I do think the first one is going to be Apocalypse. Um, yeah, man, I punch a mutant phobe. Is that what they're called? Mutant phobes? I guess. It just doesn't have a ring. Anyway, yeah, same way I would treat homophobic people, same way I treat, racists, Nazis, they all get the same treatment. Excuse me. I do love Fly Guy's reaction though. It's just the skull. I can't help it. There is kind of like, I know the way I phrased it is because I phrased it like this because of the sitcom. Like this is a perfect setup for a joke. I mean, you could see this in a show about Hollywood. Avengers Secret Wars began production today. The crew arrived and were told, "Hey, we're going on hiatus." I mean, come on. That's funny. It's funny. Like, it is really funny. To get to work and to be like, "Hey, we're going on hiatus for 5 weeks, but we haven't filmed yet." We know. That is funny. I still hope the Church of Humanity is going to end up being a villain in these X-Men, in something X-Men, because come on, give us that. Especially with Nathaniel Milbury being just normal human. Like, again, we don't know until this movie starts filming. Yeah, I'm going off of shit that might not even be true. But apparently, Nathaniel Milbury, he has not been alive since the Victorian age. They are drastically changing a lot that's going to just, again, it's going to piss off the same people it always does, and I just don't care. I'm excited for it. Hey, Stranger Things Tales from 85 Season 2 is already... Dude, how is Netflix coming out with it Season 2 already? I liked it. I thought that was a fun... I like Stranger Things, so I thought the animated series was really good. My son loved it. Right on. Tales from 85 Season 2. Like, Netflix. Just... Bravo, Netflix. Like, that's impressive in this day and age. I feel like we did just get season 1, right? Like, it's like a perfect season of television. It's like we got the season, and then we're getting season 2 starting in September, just like when I was growing up on, with TV, normal TV, whatever the hell you want to call it. I don't know how you separate these distinctions anymore. Let's see, what else we got? I think that's it. Okay. Let's do a little bit more hunting. Any other news? Diego says they'll probably give Mr. Sinister's backstory to another character later on. It's hard to say, man. It's just not important. His backstory, because honestly, the frame of reference is immaterial. I think just having him be modern is probably one of the other reasons why I'm okay with it, because it at least allows for a connection. But yeah, I'm totally cool with it. Like, I don't see even giving his backstory to another character, like him just being alive since Victorian age. That you don't need that for him to. You don't need that. You can, I mean, if you just make him human at the beginning and have him do weird shit in these next two films or however long it takes for him to turn into that weird shit, you can do it that way. I think it works just fine. Hmm. Hmm. Bill Gates' daughter Phoebe took a secret class at Stanford that focused on controlling society and ruling the world. These people are fucking weird. If or when Marvel's Wolverine shits the bed, do you think Insomniac will be told to fast track the X Men game, or it just won't affect it? I mean, like honestly, it's tricky to talk about because there are biases inherent to this conversation. I do not think Wolverine is going to be game of the. This isn't controversial. I don't think Wolverine's not going to be game of the year. So let's start there. Wolverine is not going to be game of the year. Have you seen it? Come on. I mean, dude, Resident Evil Requiem, Ocarina of Time. I'd have to pause and think about because I mean, like, there's been some really good games this year, but again, I'm just like, it's just immediacy. That's all. Pokemon Pokopia, like, there's really good games for game of the year. Wolverine is not one of them. Okay. I mean, we played this game 3 years ago, and it's still everything that they show us. It's like, oh, I remember that. I mean, it looked uglier, or not uglier. It just looked. It was, the early engine. There wasn't a lot of crazy, detailed lighting. I don't. I think the character design is really bad in this game. I really do. I think the character design is really bad in this game, in Wolverine. But I don't see a scenario where it wins any Game of the Year awards anywhere. So that's just the first thing. I don't see a scenario where it wins any Game of the Year awards anywhere. I I mean, I know it's leaks, and I know people. I get it, but like these leaks are legitimate. We know how much Wolverine costs to make. Maybe it makes it back. I mean, again, I don't care. I got nothing to lose. I don't see how it does. Except for, I mean, you could add this variable. If all you have is a PlayStation 5, you're probably starved for games, especially exclusives. The PlayStation 5 has nothing. I mean, with Nintendo Switch has been out for 12 months. We've had, on average, 2 to 3 exclusive games a month for the last 12 months. The Switch is not starved. As a PC gamer, I'm also not starved. But as a Switch gamer, no. I mean, like I have a stack. I got a stack of just exclusives. So if you're only on PlayStation 5, you are probably starved for an exclusive game. So, I mean, yeah, I think it's possible you buy it. I know Wolverine is a popular character. Everybody knows Wolverine. I don't think the word of mouth is going to carry this game far. You know, it's not like the Arkham Asylum situation where Batman had been shit forever, and we finally got a good Batman game, and the word of mouth just kept selling it more and more and more, so the sales kept going up, 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 up. Wolverine, see, that's the problem with Wolverine and Spider-Man, and I don't mean this in a negative. Wolverine and Spider-Man have both had good games in the past. We're not starved for good Spider-Man games. We're not starved for good Wolverine games. We're not starved for superheroes. I mean, superheroes are fucking everywhere. I mean, my God, they're everywhere. Like, to the point where it's just like, I get it, but there's other things to this world, and there's other comics, but superheroes are everywhere, and I don't know. I don't see it being this explosive game. Not when we have Ocarina of Time coming up and Grand Theft Auto. I just don't see a scenario. In terms of fast tracking, like we've seen what fast tracking means. No, I don't see how they can fast track. I don't see how they can get their shit together. Honestly, I don't understand the amount of money that goes into this, but yet we're seeing all of these layoffs. Like these are layers upon layers of conversations. All I want is Insomniac's new IP. That's it. I don't want to see any more superhero games, period. I don't. I want put them on the cheap. Give them to these kid studios. Let them make them and be done with it. Like I want this big money going to original IPs, new ideas, and new stories. I do not want superhero games anymore. WB already learned their lesson. WB's making everything in-house. Fine, because it's your companies. Do it. I don't want superhero games anymore. I don't. I'm good. I really am. I'm good. Let's get these budgets. Let's focus on original ideas. Let's focus on new IP. You know, let's get some depth. Let's get some better storytelling. Let's get out of this. Let's get out of this. Honestly, I don't care who you give it to. There's a number of kid-friendly studios. Give them to them. Let them goof off and make some silly shit. That's it. I don't think the multiplayer is going to be ready in 3 months. I just don't. I don't. Hang on, I'm getting some what are those? So, yeah. Zohran Mamdani is now the most popular politician in the United States, surpassing even, again, just to be really clear, he is more popular than our president, our vice president. right on. I love to see it. I love to see it. Uh, and Chuck Grassley filed paperwork today for re-election in 2028. That motherfucker's going to be 95 years old. If he serves the entire term, he's going to be 101 when his term ends. That's fucking insane. We need term limits right now. No. Is it dangerous to play Grand Theft Auto 6 stuff? It probably is, isn't it? It probably is. It's probably dangerous to play Grand Theft Auto 6 stuff. I won't play it then. I'll be safe. I won't play it. Anyway, I don't know. Listen, when Grand Theft Auto comes to PC and it has multiplayer, I will get it. I'm not getting a console to get it though. Like I have no desire. I have my Switch and I have my PC. And my PC, if you combine the Xbox and the PlayStation 5, my PC is more powerful than both of them put together. Okay? I do not need a console with a annual service to play games online. That's insane. So I will get Grand Theft Auto 6 when it eventually comes to PC, and that's when they'll add the multiplayer too. But I have to be honest, like it does. Again, it chases that realism. It doesn't look. There's nothing about it that looks inherently, quote unquote, bad. It's just like it's just a realistic looking, quote unquote, realistic looking game, realistic character design, realistic world design. That's it. That's it. And it's locked at 30 frames per second. It's just a prettier GTA 5. That is what I expected, though, to be honest. I honestly thought everybody did. I don't know what anybody else expected. I mean, yeah, the development time was crazy, and the amount of money sunk into this is unbelievable. But, yeah. Yeah. I mean, again, it goes right back to it. It just goes right back to it. Like, I look at the designs here, and then I look at that little teaser from Ocarina of Time or Final Fantasy VII Revelation. I just think those are more timeless. And I think they're beautiful. I think they have art direction. I understand, though, that this is the real world, just set in, I know it's set in America, just in a fictional American city. But it's like, that's fine. Just like, hey, Call of Duty. I'm going to play Call of Duty. I'm going to have a blast playing Call of Duty. I will eventually play Grand Theft Auto 6. It's going to be fun. Is it going to be something, though, that that's memorable with its art direction and things like that? No, it's not. I'm curious about the story more than anything, the narrative. But again, let me read the whole. I mean, I don't care. I'll read it out. I like discussing story. I mean, I like writing. I mean, I am a writer. So, here we go. Jason uses a taser. There are fuel levels. Slow-mo kills. Okay, here. Can you post the Ocarina of Time teaser again so I can refresh myself? Really didn't pay much attention because Zelda ain't really my thing. Yeah, I mean it's just it's a brief. I mean like it's a brief teaser of Link at the end, but yeah, I mean I'll post it because I mean it's our clearest look at the game engine, in game, like. Oh. Oh shit. Well, we're gonna see what happens. The leaker has announced that they will. Okay, so the story hasn't the story has not leaked yet. The leaker has announced that they will leak the plot of Grand Theft Auto 6 today. And now let me go to YouTube real quick. I really do think Alan Moore. Every day, Alan Moore was right. Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time. It's literally like my algorithm is all Zelda, like to the point where my custom feed on YouTube literally has a tab called Zelda. But I want these specific. I want something specific. Where is it on the Nintendo channel? Here it is. Beautiful engine, beautiful art direction just from this little bit. June 9th. My God, Nintendo, come on, June 9th. Give me something. Something. Come on. Diogo says, it's 2026. Why locked at 30 frames per second? Really bad optimization, man. These people don't know how to make video games anymore. I don't know. I love that. There is something funny about that. Avengers Secret Wars began production today. The crew arrived and were told the production would go on hiatus starting today. I don't know. That's going to make me laugh. That just is. It's going to make me laugh. All right. Let's go back to it. I'm trying to catch up with my tags and everything and messages on Twitter. Can't help it. It is funny. What the fuck? Okay. I consider this a major leak. There is a currency in Grand Theft Auto 6 that can be traded to real life money, like something called Robux. Again, posting this in the Discord as well. I don't know what that means. Robux is the equivalent of V-Bucks for Roblox. Wait. Oh. Wait, so... Wait. Wait. Why? It's a single-player game. There's... What? Why? Why does a single-player game have a currency? I just... It's single player. Well, yeah, I mean, you're spending $100. That's wild for a single player. That's crazy. That's crazy. I don't know, man. That's wild. I don't know. I don't know. That's an interesting choice. I mean, that's an interesting decision. That's interesting. It is single player, and you're going to have a microtransaction currency in your single player game. Again, it's not coming to PC on launch. I don't have to worry about any of this. I get to relax. I'll be playing Ocarina of Time in November because I will have that at midnight when it launches on November 12th. I'm good. Um, I don't know. I am excited. I am curious because I'm going to read all the story leaks. I don't give a shit. I'm not playing it. I'm not playing it for maybe a year. I mean, however long it takes to come to PC, I'll follow all these leaks. But that does remind me, how is Modern Warfare 4 shaping up? I pre-ordered it and just moved on. How is it shaping up? Oh, here we go. Cool. We got a lot of information. Let's see. Modern Warfare 4 beta eventually launches on August 21st. but pre-order, but pre-order players get to play tomorrow. I pre-ordered it, so I get to play tomorrow. Um, okay, PC specifications. Minimum and recommended are below. The minimum specifications for the Modern Warfare 4 beta. CPU is an AMD Ryzen 5 1600 or Intel Core i5 8400. Come on, Mac. RAM is 12 gigabytes. Video card is NVIDIA GeForce GTX 970 1060. Video memory 3 gigabytes. SSD required. Okay, that's minimum. Recommended. Recommended. Intel Core i7 8700. Oh. No. I don't have an i7. No, that's silly. Again, but that's a good thing. That's a good thing. RAM is 16 gigabytes. That's fine. I'm good with that. I have 32 gigabytes right now. The NVIDIA recommended card is a RTX 3060. Oh, okay, we're good. Video memory 8 gigabytes. Come on. SSD required. Yeah. Come on, Mac. Shader preloading. Yeah, I know about shader preloading. I know about shader preloading. I assume most people do. I use shader preloading for everything, so that's cool. I mean, my gaming PC does nothing but play games. Do you think the X-Men will have masks? No, I don't. No, I do not. Oh, okay. I haven't paid too much attention to all this. The early access for the Modern Warfare 4 beta, that's what starts on Friday. Okay, so that was me being confused. Or the early access period for the beta runs from the 21st of August through the 25th of August. After the 25th of August, then it's accessible to everybody. Okay. I'll probably gonna. I gotta download the beta today just to get it out of the way. I'm gonna go on and get the beta downloaded. Oh hey, there's a rewards for the beta. Um, oh wow, we do. Yeah, dude, I don't know what it is. Every live stream, we have somebody that just literally watches silently. Sometimes I forget to say hi to you, but hi, how you doing? How you doing? What are you wearing? Do a little spin for me. Oh hi, okay, nice. Yeah, they just watch silently. I don't know. Okay. Progress through the beta, level up, and unlock new cosmetic rewards along the way. During weekend 1, the first 5 of the rewards, up to Dread Tiger Operator skin for Reese, can be unlocked, as the maximum player level you can progress to is level 20. All And then during weekend 2, you can make it up to level 30 and unlock all the rewards. Cool, right on. October 23rd. I'll be playing Call of Duty and then just biding my time for Zelda. Um, where's my gun at? Oh, my ring is over there where it always is, on the shelf just off screen. What are you talking about? Okay, that catches us up on that. I think that's about it, honestly. There's no other news. Hmm. Greg, if Disney gave you some money to watch and review your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man, how genuine would the review go? Disney isn't gonna give me money to review anything. I'm not. I'm not a reviewer, man. I like to write and tell stories. I'm not a reviewer. I don't. I don't have a desire to review to in any professional way review other people's works. Talking about shit, shooting the shit is something different. I do not take anything as some kind of professional review. I have no interest in it. I have no desire to hitch my ride to someone else's work and to be a parasite feeding off of constantly, you know, analyzing pop culture and franchises and entertainment. I have no desire to. None. I have a desire to tell my own stories. I have a desire to share my stories, you know, with people. But like actual stories, like I could go my entire life without giving anybody my opinion on superheroes. I really could. It means nothing. I have no desire to review it. I have no desire to review anything, but I especially have no desire to review superheroes because it's all subjective. And for me, I think the biggest difference, honestly, with superheroes, even with stuff like Pokemon and all of this, and I don't judge anybody, Pokemon, Power Rangers, superheroes, I really liked them when I was that age range. You know what I mean? Like Pokemon first RPG, it's really simple, all that kind of stuff. It's goofy, it's silly, it's fun. And if my kids are into it, then I keep up with it. My kids aren't into Power Rangers though. My kids are into Pokemon. But my kids aren't into superheroes. They like Spider-Man. That's it, really. But those things don't trigger like a passionate response narratively in me. They just don't. Superheroes are fun. They're fun for a pocket of time. You have your experience with them as a kid. Then you find other things. That's just what you do. You read other things. I would not review anything though. I don't want to be a reviewer. I do not consider myself any kind of pop culture reviewer thingy, whatever. Hell, no. I talk about stuff casually, but no, I don't want to. I have no desire to do that. I have no desire to do a living, to make that a living. None. Or hitch my wagon, is that the phrase? I don't want to hitch my wagon to other people's work. I want to make my own work. Like, that's it. Let's see. If they went to you for an offer to help with the writing. Now, that's different. Now, obviously, oh, hey, we're at 53 minutes. We are. So, yeah, we're going to wrap up here soon. Now, that's different. If I had meetings of kind of, hey, are you interested in writing this and things like that, that's a very different conversation. But the realistic part of this, there's not really a scenario where I feel like my writing works for Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. Like, Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, like, it has an atmosphere, it has an attitude, it has a way about it. The show has its own identity. That's just not how I write. I would not fit in. That's like trying, that's like Batman Caped Crusader. That's not me. I would need a completely different frame of reference to have any interest, because I just don't. Like, I legitimately, like, I don't have an interest, like, to get into that world, because that world doesn't interest me. It's all very safe. It's all, again, it's not, it doesn't kind of like it creatively energize me. It just really doesn't. Let's see. I had this exact conversation with my ex. Fun for a time, but it's all casual. Haven't walked the same since after the accident. Yeah. Again, I mean, that's just it. Like, there's no other way to phrase it. I don't know. Like, I don't bemoan anybody who really loves this stuff. But you got to remember, I am almost 40. Like, we got to put it into perspective. I am almost 40 years old. Uh, I read a lot of comics as a kid. There really isn't like there's nothing to add to it for my time for reading super. I mean, like I read a lot of superhero comics. I still read a lot of comics. I'm just not on the same page as like the superhero audience because I just don't read it. Like not for any particular reason. I read it as a kid. Like you can't really go anywhere else. Like these things just are cyclical. Like it's just gonna wrap back around. I'm good. Like it's not interesting. And that's where Alan Moore, I'm sorry, like Alan Moore is correct about all of this. Um, like I would not keep up with Pokemon if it wasn't for my kids. I'm sorry, I wouldn't. I wouldn't keep up with Pokemon. Like that the system is so simple. The the anime isn't for me. It is not for me. Uh and I feel the same way about superheroes. Like I might have kept up with superheroes more if my kids had been into it, but since my kids aren't into it, man, that's it. Like that's just really it. Like my interests are in a completely other direction from superheroes. Um, from the corporate idea of superheroes, I do like Invincible. But again, that's not Marvel or DC. But I do like Invincible, and I liked the Battle Beast comic. I did pick that up when it was going. I know it's like an on-off situation with Battle Beast, like they're going to run it and then take a hiatus and then run another story. But I did like Battle Beast. I picked up that whole first run. That was very good. And I did like Invincible. But that's kind of it. Like, I can talk about comics all day long, but I don't think it's comics anybody else reads. Let's see. Would you help write a Zelda anime or game if Nintendo went to you with an offer? Yes. I do believe Legend of Zelda is right up my alley. I would now my Zelda game would be a little bit more existential. It would be darker. It would still fit within the frame of reference for Zelda. I could manage to do a Zelda game at an E10 plus or a teen rating if Nintendo wanted to go in either one of those directions. But yeah, I could Zelda. I could sit down and go, okay, here is the narrative. I mean, if I'm being really specific, I mean, I could give them dungeons too. Like I could quickly like game design is. I like game design. Let's put it that way. But I could give them the basics. Could I build the whole thing? No, but I could lay out a narrative. What do they call it at Nintendo? They call it something else. Because companies call it different things. But anyway, yeah, in terms of like narrative design, yeah, absolutely. It would be creepy. It would be a creepy Zelda. It would definitely be closer to Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask. Because again, I was a kid. Those were my games. So it would be creepier in that respect. But yeah, 100%. I could give a narrative to Nintendo and be like, here you go. And it would be weird, but it would be very, it'd be classic fantasy Zelda. Like that's it. There wouldn't be any Sheikah tech or anything like that. Mine would be different in what's currently like the most modern Zelda, but that I could do. Let's see. Mystical says, the older I get, the more selective and casual my friends and I get with it. And I feel that, yeah. Let's see. Mystical says, I'm not reading current Spider-Man, but I'll read the fuck out of a JMS or DeMatteis mini. I'm of two minds about it. I did pick up the JMS Amazing Spider-Man Torn mini. Because it was 5 issues, easy commitment. And again, that goes back to when I was a kid, so I couldn't help but be curious. Well, teenager. JMS was writing Spider-Man when I was early teen. Oh, what's going on? I'm getting notifications out the fucking ass. I'll check those in a minute. Okay. But no, I'm not picking up anything else. Um, because I just I superhero comics, and maybe it's just me. Maybe it's just because I've been on this earth for a long I've been on this earth for a long time, but superhero comic it didn't like I read that Amazing Spider-Man torn and I'm like, oh well, there's way better comics, and I understand editorial's different, mandates are different, it is really really different, but it's like, yeah, again, to the people who love Marvel or DC, right on. I could go I mean like I could put I really could go like the rest of my life like, no, I'm good. I have my little pocket of being a kid with this stuff. But like there's really good comics that aren't them that I love reading and love talking about. There are games like I I don't play superhero games. I don't replay them anyway. I mean, have I did I play the Arkham games? Yeah. Have I replayed them? No. There's no reason to. They're good, but like no. I played all the Marvel Spider-Man games. Yeah, I've played I played so many Spider-Man games as a kid. That's it. I'm good. That's just I think, and that's the difference. Like, but you also got to remember between me and most of you guys, there's like a 20-year age difference. You know what I'm saying? There's like an almost 20-year age difference. So like this stuff isn't new to me, and it's just not interesting either. And again, just like Pokemon, I put Marvel, DC, and Pokemon on the same tier. It's like it's just it is. It's like here's a kid's first RPG. Here's a kid's first comic. You should be broadening horizons as you explore life. That's what you. I mean, that's just it. These are not meant to be the only things you experience. It is a really closed off perspective to have. Also, when I worked at my local comic shop, I learned very quickly it was better to follow creators rather than your favorite characters. Uh, yeah, I mean, I do agree with that. You know, I will follow Mike Mignola. I will follow Fiona Staples, unless, of course, it's a Marvel or DC character. Then I'm not going to pick it up. Again, not for any crazy reason, just because it's not what I read. It just isn't what I read. Um, but I'm trying to think of who else. Daniel Warren Johnson. Follow him anywhere. Like I could go to my library, and I might make this as a short or some stupid little video. Um, but like I could go to my library and I could give you a stack of comics that have. I mean, I could give you so many comics that have nothing to do with Marvel or DC. And manga too. Like I mean, there's so much else out there to read. I think comics are such a powerful visual medium, and again, comics and manga are interchangeable to me. It's the same thing. It's the same word in Japan. We're the ones who divide it in America. It is the same word in Japan. What we call comics, like Amazing Spider-Man, is a manga over there. Like you just have to accept it. Um, but you should have more experiences in your life. You really should. Uh, and again, you're kids, so like you haven't had a lot of experiences. Period. Uh, but you should have more experiences in your life than just that. I mean, you know, share comics with people, socialize, be around people. Like you should not. It is not healthy to have nothing but the same, to live in a bubble of Marvel or DC. It's not healthy. It isn't. Or, I mean, like, it really isn't. Because it is. It is arrested development. Like, it really is. Like, all you're doing is limiting yourself on what you can achieve. I will not read everything that Jonathan Hickman writes. Nothing against him. Um, oh no, Frank Miller. Okay, so Daniel Warren Johnson and Sean Murphy. There you go. There you go. Um, Diogo, I don't think we're really having a conversation, but I have no idea. Like that's not at all like that. That's not the point that I'm making. Like that's not the point. Um, I do think that I mean like it is true. Like it is harmful to only consume like these Marvel DC superheroes that it would be harmful to only consume Star Wars. Like we're talking about properties that are targeted for a certain developmental age. And then you develop, right? Like you do develop and you grow. Like you mentally are able to handle something deeper, more thought provoking. Like you're able to be challenged. Um, that has nothing to do with it. It's not just about being a kid because that's a really empty blanket statement. And not everything has to be turned into a joke either. Not everything has to be just so facetious. It just doesn't. Not everything has to be so facetious and be turned into a joke all the time. So Mystical Green Beatty says that he loves Crazy Uncle Frank. That is an interesting way to phrase it. I do not think Frank Miller's work is I don't think it ages well. And I'm not ashamed to say this, but the way Frank Miller did the way he I mean like I don't know if he's put out anything recent. When I was reading superhero comics as a kid and as a teenager and Frank Miller's stuff was out there and really prominent, like even then in the early 2000s, like Frank Miller really writes women terribly. Like even Sin City, like because again everybody talks about Frank Miller. Oh, Batman, Daredevil. Again, all you're doing is shrinking your world. Frank Miller's done so much more. I love Sin City, but it is dishonest to not acknowledge how he sees women and how he projects women into his comics. It is tough. It is tough. It's tough to have. It's tough. It's tough. It's tough. It's like Frank. I don't know what you're angry about, but and then of course, I would have to get up. But like my favorite Frank Miller comic. Oh, do I have it out easily accessible? You know what? I'm gonna go get it. I'm just gonna go get it. I don't give a fuck. I think I do have it out easily accessible. It's in the library or it's in my bedroom. I'm gonna go get it. I'll give you a chance to guess while I'm away what my favorite Frank Miller comic is. Okay, so I may have gone overboard, but this is a stack of comics that have nothing to do with Marvel or DC corporate superheroes. So, we're going to go through them one by one. And if you haven't read these, you are the problem. I'm not being facetious. I'm not being facetious. I'm not trying to single you out. I'm not trying to make you self-conscious or uncomfortable, but I do think, like, especially in terms of men's mental health, we need to start talking about this. This is serious. Like, people are stuck. Men especially are stuck in a phase of developmental sickness. I would not wish this on my son. You have to move on mentally. He is a master craftsman. It's just hard. It's rough reading some of his. It really is hard to read some of his story choices. So anyway, Sean Murphy, Grant Morrison, Joe the Barbarian. I love this. This is a beautiful book. Again, this is the hardback from Vertigo. This is the only thing I like of Grant Morrison, and I stand by this. Grant Morrison's original work, like, I have no interest in his stuff for DC. This is beautiful. But yeah, this is amazing. I know people talk about Grant Morrison for DC. I don't really like Grant's DC stuff. I didn't as a kid. I don't read anything now, but Joe the Barbarian's amazing. It wouldn't even make my top 5 comics of all time, but it is amazing. Jim Henson's Tale of Sand. This would be a top 5. It is, oh man, it's beautiful. This was a limited edition hardback print run. It is very minimal. There's barely any dialogue in it. Again, you can see if you've heard me talk about the Wilds. But like, here is just a page. It is, again, it was developed with the Jim Henson Company and Archaia. It is, I'll read you the little blurb on the back. Between 1967 and 1974, Jim Henson and his longtime writing partner Jerry Jewell developed 3 drafts of a screenplay for a feature-length film entitled Tale of Sand. It was during the development of the later drafts of the screenplay that Jim Henson became involved in the production of Sesame Street and The Muppet Show and left behind the experimental filmmaking of his youth to concentrate on the creations that would in time make him a household name. Tale of Sand remained in the vaults of the Jim Henson Company as the only feature-length screenplay written by Henson that he was never able to produce during his lifetime. With the permission of the Jim Henson Company and under the supervision of Jim's daughter, Lisa Henson, Archaia Entertainment is proud to bring this lost work of art to life as a graphic novel, stunningly illustrated by acclaimed artist Ramon K. Perez. This is a top 5. It's beautiful. I know it was a limited edition print, and so it might be hard to find now, but like, if you want to talk about like inspirations for like the Wilds, this is a top 5er. Brought the whole, oh no, man, this isn't even an entire shelf from the library. You haven't even begun to go into I read all the time. I love reading. Here is, because again, we talk about Marvel and DC, but it's never about the writers. This is my favorite Scott Snyder work, American Vampire. Again, this is Scott Snyder, Raphael Albuquerque. This is beautiful. My favorite Scott Snyder books are American Vampire and Witches, but I don't have that one easily available. I also don't have Saga easily available because I have those in single issues, so those are in the vault. Yeah, American Vampire is Scott Snyder at his best. So there's those 3. My favorite Frank Miller book, Ronin. Again, it's basically Samurai Jack. Like I don't Gindi never like outright said Gindi did note Ronin was an inspiration, but like whoa, this is Samurai Jack. Except that it's in New York City in modern day, fighting a demon. Yeah, I mean that's just it. Like that's Samurai Jack, okay? And this is my favorite Frank Miller work, and it is beautiful. Um, I mean, so again, this is you can think about the wilds when you look at stuff like this. This is my I know this is going to be weird and it's going to be out of context if you've never read Ronin. This is my favorite page from Ronin. Just let that sink in. That is my favorite spread from Ronin. Like, just beautiful. Beautiful. And again, nothing to do with Batman or Daredevil. Then we have Terry Moore, Rachel Rising. Rachel wakes in a shallow grave. Horrified, she digs her way out and goes looking for her killer in the little town of Manson. What she finds is a trail of death following her and more than one blood-chilling suspect. Very, very good. I don't even want to spoil this, but this is really good. I'm wondering if I could show something like out of context. I'll just show this. Very good. I've talked about this before. Rat Queens. Volume 1, Sass and Sorcery. Unfortunately, the creator, this series kind of collapsed, not for any negative reason, but just because the creator got busy with other stuff. That's all there is to it. But this was memorable. Curtis and Rock just knocked this out of the park. Let me see if I can... Yeah. But Rat Queens is very good. Mystical says, I think to your point, people need to get beyond their comfort zone, but there's also a broader conversation about consumerist comfort in a decaying society. I agree with all of that. I think you can even look to that in terms of men's mental health, but it is a discussion that needs to be had. Mystical says, I'm not a big Snyder guy, but I've heard a lot of good things about American Vampire. Again, when I'm at the comic shop and I'm talking to people who read other like comics outside of Marvel and DC, like I love Snyder's original work. It's very good. I just don't follow the other stuff. Oh, and then of course, Phonogram by Kieran. This is again amazing. It's music, man. This is a love letter. This is a love letter to music. It is an absolute love letter to music. I love Phonogram. The art is beautiful as well. It's just such a vibe. Like, come on. Love it. Then Omnibus 1 from Third World Studios. This is the Stuff of Legend. As Allied forces fight the enemy on Europe's war-torn beaches, another battle begins in a child's bedroom in Brooklyn when the nightmarish boogeyman snatches a boy and takes him to the realm of the dark. The child's playthings, led by the toy soldier known as the Colonel, band together to stage a daring rescue. On their perilous mission, they will confront the boy's bitter and forgotten toys, as well as betrayal in their own ranks. The Stuff of Legend is a haunting and ultimately redemptive tale of loyalty, camaraderie, and perseverance. I love this. This is beautiful. The art direction, the coloring. Absolutely beautiful. Absolutely worth reading. I'll grab both of these together. David Peterson. I don't know if he ever outright. I don't know if he's ever done anything for Marvel or DC, but his books are beautiful. Mouse Guard Winter 1152, Mouse Guard Fall 1152. These are ones that David wrote and drew himself. I love this. I'll show this off. Just look at that. I mean, that's stunning. That speaks volumes. Even the covers. Just absolutely beautiful. So Mystical says, I swear Gindi said Ronin was his inspiration for Samurai Jack. Reading Ronin after watching Samurai Jack, though, the twist is insane. Oh, yeah. I mean, that's true. It would be very interesting to come at it from that way. So Gindi, to be fair, Gindi has mentioned Ronin, but his biggest, whenever he talks about Samurai Jack, even to this day, which he just, he just talked about Samurai Jack in May at the animation festival. He always talks about, that dream that he always had as a little kid where the world ended and he grabbed a sword and traveled the post-apocalyptic world with the beautiful girl that he was in love with at the time when he was a kid. And then he goes like, yes, Frank Miller's 300, Frank Miller's Ronin. He has name-checked all of those, and it's obvious. But Samurai Jack is just such a mishmash of everything that Gindi loved as a kid. And it speaks volumes because you feel that in Samurai Jack. You see Ronin, you see Frank. I mean, you see Frank Miller's influence everywhere. Look at Ronin's artwork, or look at Frank Miller's Sin City. Look at Frank Miller's 300. You see the inspiration everywhere. I liked Witches, but never finished it. Oh, that's a shame. It's very good. I can't wait for the animated series. Then we get into, again, my second favorite artist ever. And again, I did not grab my Hellboy library editions because that just would have been way too much and just too much to lift and try to carry around. Mike Mignola, Hellboy library editions, Daniel Warren Johnson. But again, I'll always say this, Fiona Staples is one of the greatest illustrators of all time. The only reason I do not have Fiona Staples here is because all of my Fiona Staples is single issues. Like, I buy them as they come out. I do not wait, and I have not bought any collections, so I don't have them just an easy grab. They are in the vault. But Daniel Warren Johnson, Murder Falcon, do a power bomb. The moon is following us. That made me cry. Murder Falcon made me cry. Extremity is beautiful. Again, anything that involves family is going to get me emotional. I'm just that kind of person. But man, Murder Falcon, the emotional twist of Murder Falcon. I don't want to show that panel because that would be a spoiler. But I will show this. I mean, you have to hold these books physically in your hand. It doesn't do it justice. Do a power bomb. Again, like, do a power bomb. It's, father and daughter. Or father and child, however way you want to phrase it. Just so good. The moon is following us. Again, about a mom, dad, and their kid. No monologues, no speeches. And if you don't understand the context of that scene, read the comic. And then Extremity. Like, beautiful collection. Um, and again, same thing. It's family. 12 issues. Let me see. Oh. Yeah, just beautiful. And a live stream does not do these justice. That is just a portion of what these creators are doing outside of Marvel and DC. This doesn't even begin to scratch the surface. I mean, it really doesn't. There's Sweet Tooth, there's Sweet Tooth. Come on, what's the other? I mean, like I'm brain farting, but like it really doesn't. There is so much. There's so much more that I have in single issues, but those are just cumbersome to get all together. There is so much about these characters and their devotion to the craft of what comics really are, and just purely expressing art and freedom outside of any corporate nonsense. Again, Joe the Barbarian, Grant Morrison and Sean Murphy's partnership. I mean, that book, now I believe that Sean Murphy is a main part of the success of that book for me. I bought that book because Sean Murphy's name was on it. But again, I have to give Grant Morrison credit. Grant worked really well in terms of that original, creator-driven project, trying to phrase it in a way like, because again, it's not corporately tied to anything. Frank Miller, and again, if Sin City's your favorite or something else, that's fine. But in my opinion, Frank Miller's best work is Ronin and 300. It has nothing to do with Marvel or DC. And I feel the same way. Like you look at Scott Snyder, American Vampire, Witches. Scott Snyder's best work is not at DC. And that's not to say that work is bad, but it's like there is a whole world. And again, Phonogram with Kieran, with Gillen, or however you say his name. Phonogram. Like, I know that he was a Marvel mainstay for a long time, and maybe he still is. I don't know. But, like, his best work is not with those corporate superheroes. This is pure, driven. It's just love. I mean, like, it's just love. And it shows in every page. And, like, that's it. Like, those are the things that I'm just like, this is what comics are about. This is story, and it's honesty, and it's vulnerability. And it's not embarrassed by what it is. It's not ashamed of what it is. Manga and comics outside of corporate structure are doing so much for the genre and for the medium. They just are. They're doing way more than what Marvel and DC have ever done for the medium. That's all there is to it. Let's see. Mystical says, I'm hyped for his upcoming series, Chain Kata. I am too. I've already got it on my pull list. I watched Daniel Warren Johnson's live stream. I turn it on every Friday. I listen to it while I'm cooking. I love his live stream. I don't believe there is anyone like right now that is doing more for comics than Daniel Warren Johnson. Like, he is such an advocate for this industry, and I love him immensely. Daniel Warren Mystical says, the only Daniel Warren Johnson I've gone soft for is Wonder Woman Dead Earth. Now, see, I'm outside of that. I love Daniel Warren Johnson, but I don't really follow these guys when they go to Marvel or DC, so I don't know anything about that. Nothing against it. I just don't follow them when they go to corporate, when they go the corporate route. Because, like, I say this all the time, and it's the most honest way that I can be. My time with superhero comics, like, I had it as a kid. That's it. But that didn't mean I stopped reading comics. I love comics. I love comics. I love manga. I'm passionate about this industry. I think this industry can be so much more, and I think these comics exemplify how limitless. It's just your imagination. It's it's the restrictions you put on yourself and how you chain yourself down because you're not willing, because you're scared. And like, okay, it's okay to be scared, but you got to take those steps. There is life. You have to live it, though. And people use and people try to use these arguments to maintain their arrested development, to say, well, I'm a kid and there's nothing wrong with giving up kid things. No, it's not the argument. That's not it. You're doing a straw man. You have to experience. I mean, life is more than that. Men are incredibly, wildly, mentally unhealthy. Statistics do not lie. Men are not going to the doctors. Men are self-diagnosing. They're not getting help. This is an issue. And I know it can be scary, but it's dangerous. It is dangerous, because eventually you will close yourself off so much you will not have interactions with people. And it will be of your own making and your own doing, because you'll say, oh, they're judging me. Oh, it's this. Oh, it's that. No, it's people being honest with you, telling you, you have to get help. You know, men are more likely to self-diagnose just to avoid confronting their own fears. You got to wake up. Do I read? I don't know. So I don't necessarily know that I read a lot of horror comics. I guess Witches and American Vampire counts. And Rachel Rising I would count as a horror comic. But I can't, and maybe Hellboy. Does Hellboy count as a horror comic anymore? I don't know. I don't care. I love horror comics, and if you have recommendations, I will gladly take them. But yeah, the horror comics that I can tell you, Witches, American Vampire, Hellboy, and Rachel Rising. Nothing else stands out to me as like a horror comic. Is something? Something is killing the children. Does that count as horror? I loved it. I don't know if that counts as horror. Again, I don't know what counts, but if you have recommendations, I would love to hear them. Let's see. Gillen does indies mostly, and he's better for it. You can see the stuff he was attempting to do under Marvel really explored in Wicked, Divine, and Power Fantasy. Oh my God. I have those in single issues, which is why they're not here, but I completely agree. I'm not super aware of everything Gillen did for Marvel. I know his Star Wars stuff. I know his Loki stuff. But like when you look at, again, Phonogram, Wicked, Divine, Power Fantasy, it's like, oh my God. When this man is free, I mean, it's pure art. It's wonderful. Now, again, do they make my top 5? No. But that just goes to tell you how good comics are right now. Like, there's so much good shit that does not make my top 5. My top 5 all-timers. And again, I'll separate comics from manga because people have issues. But again, in Japan, if you went, these are all manga. Because that's their word, that's it. We're the ones who separate. But yeah, like, I absolutely agree. It's not often... It's not very often in terms of live streams and stuff where people actually read comics, because like people say they love comics, but all they know is DC and Marvel. So like this is great, like mystical. I love you. You don't really see people who, I mean, like I don't like people say they read comics, but then you go out and it's like, oh, you don't read comics, you read. You read Marvel, you don't read comics. I think the reason I'm not hard on cape shit is because I was an edgelord who went hard anti-superhero comics, and now I've cycled back to, capes are kind of fun. Is cape shit? What is cape shit? Is that just, is cape shit a catch-all term for superheroes? Cape shit? Is that a thing? I think for me, it really is like, I think everything has its phases. Superheroes are everywhere, and there's nothing wrong with that, but there's also more to it. There's so much more to the world than just those, and it's just kind of deflating. It's kind of boring because it's like, I love talking comics, but then it's like, oh, blah, 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 because I can get going, and then people are like, Amazing Spider-Man, Flash, Batman, and I'm like, I mean, yeah, those are comics. those are comics, but there's so much more to the industry. But sure, yep. I don't know if you really support the comic. I'm sorry, like you're not, like that's fine and everything, but like Alan Moore was right, and it's always guys. It's always guys. I know so many women who love comics and who can talk about comics, but beyond, they can talk about stuff beyond DC and Marvel. Pulp camp, that's fair. Hellboy, pulp, horror pulp. I agree with that. That's very fair. Mystic, green. I don't think there's anything wrong with being really anti-superhero. I think it's fair to be anti-corporate, and superheroes are corporate. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I don't think that's being an edgelord. I am very anti-corporate superheroes. Hell, my firstborn, they aren't reading that shit by their own choice. Like, it's not good. And my firstborn's going to be 18 years old, and they're smarter than most of you. All of you. Yeah, all of you. My firstborn's smarter than all of you. I love you. I do love all of you, but my firstborn is smarter than all of you. The nuance that my firstborn has is perfectly exemplified by their YouTube channel, where they only have one video, but damn it if I'm not proud. But there is more to this industry, and that's my point. SIKTC is also horror. SIKTC. Am I missing what that? Oh, something is killing the children. It took me a minute. My brain's everywhere right now. So that is horror. Okay, right on. Again, like I said, if you have recommendations outside of that, I would love to know. Like, I love reading, man. I read every day. I have a time set aside where, like, no, I read. I love reading. Okay, Mystical says, it's so funny when grifters bitch about... Hold on. It's so funny when grifters bitch about modern comics when they're just talking about cape shit. Mostly X-Men and Spider-Man, too. Yeah, or Flash, Batman, absolute. It's like, oh my God, Mystic, I agree. Oh my God, do I agree? Like, it has been like no one reads comics, so like I don't really get to talk about them that much. And well, in terms of me live streaming, like people say they like comics, but they don't read them. They don't read manga. They don't read anything. They really don't. They fundamentally don't read. So this is wonderful. This is awesome. Like usually, like I have these kind of conversations about comics, about not about superheroes, but about like, oh, did you read this with my my firstborn? I could talk ever so often, not all the time, but ever so often we'll talk comics. And I have friends at the comic shop where I will talk comics with, but like it's broadening. Like it's not about like superheroes, and it's like on live streams I just don't. So this is just refreshing. It is just so refreshing as an almost 40-year-old man to be able to be like, this industry is more than superheroes, and have someone go, you know what? Yeah, it is. Okay, Mystic says cape shit is a bubble term for superheroes, but it's mostly used for Marvel and DC, which is totally fair because I feel like now I'm not against Invincible. Invincible is not like super memorable to me, but I think Invincible, at least when it was a comic, tried to do more. Walking Dead. That's a horror comic, isn't it? Walking Dead, I did read that. Now that's over, but I did read that, and I have that too. But it wouldn't. Walking Dead and Invincible would not even make my top 10. If I'm honest with you, nothing from Marvel or DC would make my top 10 comics of all time. They wouldn't. That's how amazing comics are. Mystic says, it's like when people say I love manga, but it's just Dragon Ball Z. Manga is so expansive and fun beyond just shonen. Yes! One of my favorites is the Ancient Magus's Bride. Obviously, there's My Hero Academia. There's the big ones. Man, I can't go get my manga shelf right now. Well, one of my manga shelves. I can't do that right now. That's too much. And like, I don't like my desk being cluttered. I got to take all this shit back when I'm done with the live stream. Yes, I mean, like, I know. And don't get me wrong. Do I like Dragon Ball Z? I loved Dragon Ball Z as a kid, but that's a pocket nostalgia thing. Like, I'm not following Dragon Ball anymore, not for a negative reason, but just because it had its time with me as a kid. It was a childhood influence, but that's it. Like, that's it. There's so much more to it. Hell, Death Note. Neon Genesis Evangelion, which was an anime first and then adapted, but the manga's still really good too. If you like reading, then you can consume it in different ways. Eden Zero is very good. You can get really silly. Fairy Tail is really funny and very silly. I like Fairy Tail. I really do like Fairy Tail. Shit, what's this called? I feel bad. I can't remember. I'm terrible with some manga names because they can be, they're like run-on sentences. The guy she was interested in wasn't a guy at all. Is very good. Again, like, there's so much more. There's so much more to life. That's it. There's so much more to life. Oh, Warcraft also has pretty good manga if you're looking for video game tie-ins. And I could go on. Like, there's different avenues just to try to get people to read. But like with my son, he has no interest in superheroes. So, like, we're reading this kind of stuff. Our Lord of the Rings. Right now, we're going through Lord of the Rings when it's story time. And we'll read Hellboy, too. Let's see. Mystic says, I'd hope it'd be sad if the next generation wasn't smarter than us. Yeah, I don't know if it's every kid. I don't know. But my two kids, they're smarter than, they are 100%. When I say, when I say smarter, they are smarter than me, and they're smarter than all of you. And I don't mean that rudely or facetiously, but yeah, my kids are way smarter than me. They will continue to be way more intelligent than I am. They have surpassed me. My 5-year-old has already surpassed me. My soon-to-be 18-year-old has surpassed me. My children are more intelligent than I am, and they are also smarter than all of you. And I say that with all the love in the world, but it's true. My kids are smarter than any member of my family, and myself. Let's see. Mystic says, wait, did you not know that I like comics outside of Cape shit? Yeah, honestly, I don't. Like, we haven't really talked. Like, so everybody, like, most other people don't really read comics in the Discord. I'm trying to get them to branch out. Like, Kian, Derpy Pizza, I'm trying to get him to read some comics. I'm getting Luke into comics and manga right now. And then Diogo, but Diogo only reads, I guess the term is now Cape shit. Diogo only reads Cape shit. So I don't really have a lot to talk about when it comes to the Discord. Not that I don't love you guys. I love all of you, but it's just the honest truth. Like, you don't, I did not know anybody actually read comics. Just honestly, I didn't know anybody read comics like I did, which is, I love the industry. Like, there's a reason I want to work in this industry. I genuinely loved comics. Like, I don't care if my book barely sells. I want to make a comic because I fucking love comics. Let's see. Mystic says, The Walking Dead is a big horror staple. Regrettably, I'm not a big Kirkman guy, though. I'm right there with you. That's why he wouldn't even make my top 10. I have nothing against Robert Kirkman. I really don't. He just, it's not what I gravitate towards. His writing style is not what I just like. It's not. It just doesn't immerse me. The stories themselves are not technically bad. There's nothing bad about it. They have their style. They have their fans. I think that's awesome, and I think it's awesome that he's able to build this up outside of corporate cape shit. Cape shit is a new term that I learned. I'm going to use it. But Invincible and Walking Dead and Oblivion Song, I've read all of Kirkman's work, but it's just, and again, now he's, Void Rivals, Transformers. He had like an orc one too, and I have that too. I don't remember it, but that's just what I mean. Like, it's just like, it's none of them are like all timers. Not for any negative reason. They weren't for me, and there's nothing wrong with that. Mystic says Eva's great, but I've never thought about it the same way after a buddy of mine said Eva is to mech anime what Watchmen is to Cape Comics. Especially since I don't watch a lot of mech anime or manga. That's actually very true, and it does offer that perspective. Watchmen was impactful for me as a kid because I read superhero comics. Neon Genesis Evangelion was impactful for me because I grew up with Mobile Suit Gundam, again, Gundam Wing, Escaflowne. I took part of a lot of mecha anime and manga. They played a lot on Toonami. We had a lot of VHSs. I did partake in a lot of mech anime, so I do agree with that. Neon Genesis is 100% a deconstruction of that genre, and it works wonderfully as that. I love it. Just like Watchmen, wonderfully deconstructed superheroes of the time. They don't really. Watchmen works less now. I feel like this might be blasphemy to some. I think Neon Genesis is timeless. I think it works no matter what era you put it in, whereas Watchmen can only work in a certain pocket of time in the comic industry. Then it is a seminal work that you can respect, but it's not really topical. Neon Genesis is topical no matter where you drop it in. But it is like it pretty much is the deconstruction of the genre as to what Watchmen was for superhero cape shit. Again, got that new word. And then I can't, we'll have to do manga another day because I can't even begin to just randomly grab manga today. I know we are, because we went. I planned to end this because there was nothing to really chat about. And now we're almost at 2 hours. So I am getting ready to wrap up. I am going to be playing games tonight because I'm staying home today. I got to cook dinner, but I will be on. I got a little bit of writing I want to do, but I'll be in the Discord, but I'm going to be home. I'm going to get my gaming PC turned on to make sure all my stuff is updated while I'm doing my last bit of chores around the house. But I will be on gaming tonight. I don't care what we play. I'm pretty chill to just kind of chill out and hang out. And I'm doing one last check of news. Every time, I'm just like, Nintendo, give me something. Let's see. No breaking news so far. So, pretty much... Okay, yeah. We're clear. There's nothing else. No breaking news. I love talking comics, though, so I don't need breaking news, but I also know that I got to wrap up. Let's see. I'm going to catch up real quick. Mystic says, despite John Constantine technically being DC, the OG Hellblazer is a great horror series. It is. I have it from when I was a kid. I have Swamp Thing. I have Alan Moore's Swamp Thing because I was eating those up when I was a kid. Just because we don't really talk about it very much, my favorite parts of DC and Marvel were always the weird shit. I know at the time X-Men were popular, but X-Men was the weird shit. I didn't like when they went cosmic, but Man Thing, Swamp Thing, Hellblazer, Alias by Brian Michael Bendis. There's, I mean, Etrigan. I mean, like not all of it's always good, but when it's good, it's some of the best fucking shit out there. Swamp Thing might be my favorite DC comic of all time. Alan Moore's Swamp Thing might be my favorite DC comic of all time. I don't think anything's ever surpassed that. I'm not being facetious. I legitimately mean that. I do not think DC's ever done anything better than Alan Moore's Swamp Thing. It is that good. It is that good. And it holds up so fucking well. It is, again, I like that word. It is timeless. It is timeless. You could put that story anywhere. It's that good. Let's see. It also got me interested in world politics and how the UK under Thatcher low-key irrevocably fucked the UK. Yeah, absolutely agree. I do. I absolutely agree with all of that. Yeah. Mystic says, I'm normally at work whenever Greg streams. Right on. Yeah, Americans, you know what it is? It is American work time. Diogo says, you love cryptids, right, Greg? Oh, yeah. I love them. I love them. My son and I love them. Mystic says, after watching Mobile Suit Gundam, I sort of disagree with my buddy because EVA feels like deconstruction of mech anime tropes, while a lot of mech anime is already a commentary on war. I mean, that's fair. Mecha anime is generally commentary on war. And Neon Genesis did play with all the tropes. Because you even have to remember at time, there was... I would have to cheat, so I'm not going to do it. I know Metal Gear Solid, MGS, MSG. Again, Mobile Suit Gundam wasn't really the trope Ava was going after. There was a mecha... Because, again, Mobile Suit Gundam redefines it as well. Because when we talk about mecha anime, yes, Mobile Suit Gundam's a big one. Oh, man. But there was... Because I remember it when I was a kid. But there was... Come on. Give me a minute. I'm going to cheat and look it up. I don't remember off the top of my head. But there... Because, again, it used to be... Before Mobile... I mean, like, it was... And it still was, even up to the time of Ava. It was... serious. It wasn't as serious. There were various levels, like, because again, just like superheroes, before Watchmen you could find really serious takes, but Watchmen still deconstructed many of the concepts. Eva did the same thing, whereas obviously Mobile Suit Gundam, commentary on war 100%, but super robot animes like I
didn't get that. Could you try again?
I wasn't talking to you. Dawn Guard Ace, Shogun Warriors, Brave Raiden. So there was a level of silliness. Pat Labor. So again, it is similar to, just like Cape shit. There you could find something serious within that offered real commentary. But it was also, there was still a lot of silly. There was a lot of nonsense to look at and go, what if this happened, you know? Anyway. I still think it works. Maybe not directly to Mobile Suit Gundam, but in terms of the larger themes of deconstructing the concepts and tropes, just like Watchmen did, I think it did for Mecha. Anyway. It's funny, you're not that much older than me, but you're old enough to where X-Men was at its peak when you were reading. By the time I got into comics, it just put me off. Yeah, X-Men was at its peak, man. I mean, again, I still have those old comics, but, like, X-Men were at its peak because... I don't know how old you are. You say I'm not that much older. But when I was a kid in the 90s, like, It was all about rebelling. It was all about being different, being outsiders. X-Men captured that when they were on Earth. When it went to space, I didn't give a fuck. I didn't care. Because to me, you lose any impact when they go to space. Now that being said, like, yeah, X-Men were the shit. Like, they were bigger than anything. X-Men were bigger than fucking anything. And the character drama and the ensemble cast, endlessly entertaining until they went to space. I assume Mystic is probably, I mean, if I'm not that much older, but I'm older, you're probably 10 years younger than me. So you grew up with the X-Men in a different phase. But yeah, I assume you've got to be 10 years younger than me. You may not be as young as my kids, my 18-year-old, but like you've got to be 10 years younger. I assume. You're free to say. I don't know if you've ever said your age. If you did and I forgot, I legitimately apologize. But okay, I'm gonna close that because I'm gonna wrap up after this. But you're old enough to where, yeah, the X-Men really were at its peak. Like, nobody was talking about Spider-Man. I mean, I liked Spider-Man as a kid, but nobody was talking about Spider-Man comics. Like, if you were reading Marvel, you were reading X-Men. Like, that's just it. It was more like it was stranger. It was stranger to hear somebody not reading X-Men. Like, that's how big it was because we were all outsiders in the 90s. We all knew what that felt like. Ultron is listening. Yeah. Yeah. It was X-Men and Teen Titans. Well, obviously each individual company, but yeah. And again, it's because Teen Titans was ripping off X-Men because DC saw what was popular and was ripping it off. And I don't blame them at all. But yeah, it was X-Men and Teen Titans. I couldn't get into Teen Titans. I found most of it superficial, and I found most of it empty. And as a kid, as a teenager, I always felt like DC had so much of a disconnect with, like, if this is the real world, like, it wasn't the world outside my window because there is no Gotham and there is no Metropolis. There was a relatability when, like, the X-Men were in Texas, in Dallas. You know what I'm saying? That matters as a kid. And I know, I don't care if anybody, I don't give a fuck what you think, but it does. It matters. As a kid, it really does matter because it's like, we there's a relatability to that. Coast City, Star City, Keystone City, Gotham City, Metropolis, Smallville. It's not relatable. Bloodhaven, it's not relatable. It's not the world outside your window. In that case, just create a fantasy because it already is a fantasy. It's already a fantasy. So just just the fantasy of it creates a disconnect because it's like, this isn't the real world. It's not. You can't even say, and and so there was always a separation, whereas X-Men felt more relevant. Like, oh, okay, like, yeah. As a kid, these were outsiders, and these would be my friends. You know what I mean? Whereas the Teen Titans, it was like, I see you, but the drama isn't there for me. Okay, we are at 2 hours now. So now I am, anything last minute, Mystic is free to say his age. I was expecting him to kind of like end it with a revelation. Like, are you, like, how old are you? Am I right? Are you? Sorry, I have a lot. I have over 300 TikTok notifications. Oh, 30. So when I got into comics, Marvel was in that lull. Oh, yeah, yeah. You're the same age as my other Brit friends. Jace, Jake, Rob, Stuart. They're all closer to me. And like the youngest one in that group is 30. So yeah, right on. You are pretty close. But yeah, you got in. You got in at the worst. So the funny thing is you got into comics at the best time for Ultimate Spider-Man, the worst time for the X-Men. Um, oh my god, all the comments on this Halo video. I can't keep up with this. I just approve automatically. Okay. That's it. Caught up. But yeah, yeah, you're much closer to me than, yeah, right on. 7 years? How old am I? 37. Yes, I am 37. I don't think about it because my age does not matter to me. So I have to like think to make sure. But I am 37. I turned 37 in June. So yeah. So like when I was 10 in 2000, 2001, like I was, yeah. So you were still, like you could have picked up comics, but you were, yeah, 7 years younger. So yeah, very different. I mean, I was 5 in 95, like that was just peak. But yeah, I just gotta remember, yeah, 37. I am 37. 1989. I just have to think about it. Again, as you get older, your age just doesn't matter. And mine doesn't. Mine really doesn't matter because I've literally been on dates where they don't believe me. Like, I have to really point out, like, no, I was born in 1989. That, like, it doesn't even matter. I could, at this point, if I wanted to, I could give any age. I really could. Sometimes, I'll say this before I go, because this is funny, and this is true, and it's not harmful, but sometimes just because I'm like, it just rounds it up, and I don't give a fuck, lately, and I really have been doing this a lot lately, I just say I'm 40. That's it. Because I'm closer to 40 than I am to 30, so let's round it up. I just am like, I'm 40. You're 40? Yeah, I'm 40. And even then, 30. Even if I tell somebody I'm 37 or if I tell somebody I'm 40, I get the same answer. You look like you just are, like you're probably finishing up high school. Thank you so much. That's crazy. That's awesome to hear. I will take all the compliments. But no, I'm 40 because I have 2 kids. One's gonna be 18 and one just turned 5. So yeah. So I've given up on worrying about my age. It doesn't matter. I don't look it. I don't behave it. That's all there is to it. Let's see. Mystic says, it's funny, I was the opposite growing up. It felt weird to me seeing high concepts grounded in reality. I always preferred the alt history idea behind DC for that reason. Fair enough. I did not. I preferred Marvel for that reason. And again, at the same time, I am a big fan of I love fantasy. I love the fantasy genre. I think I love the fantasy genre more than any other genre. So, like, if you're going to embrace fantasy, then just embrace it. And DC, I mean, it just became a point where it was like, if this is supposed to be the real world, then have it be the real world. You know, put them in real places. You know, as a kid, I can't show my son Gotham, but I can show him where Spider-Man was. I can show him where the X-Men hang out. That's cool. That's cool. DC is like, yeah, Gotham City. Who gives a fuck about it? Yeah, anyway. Approve all and deal with the consequences later. There you go. Mystic says, also, as I get older, I forget how old I am, so I have to think about it too. Yeah, you just do. I mean, we're all going to die. And I'm going to end this on a really dark note because it doesn't matter. I'm a melancholy person, so everything gets dark. Like, I can't help it. Yeah, I mean, one, we're all going to die. We hope it's not soon, but we're going to die. And it's like, I've been here almost 40 years. I might as well just say I'm 40 because to keep track of it, let's just round it up to the nearest round number. You know what I mean? Like, that's it. It's just like, but I am 37. All kidding aside, I need a minute to think about it. But yeah, I am actually 37. But I just say 40 because it's easier. Because I don't want to have to stop and think. And honestly, they don't. Even when I say 37, it doesn't matter. They don't believe me. In the span of a week, and this is true, I have been flirted with by someone who is 22, 26, 30, and 38. It doesn't matter how, I mean, like, it really doesn't. And I tell all of them the same thing. Well, the younger ones, I'm like, I just say 40 just to be quick about it. The ones who are in their 30s, I'm like, I'm 37 because they're closer to my age. So I stop and really think. But I'm like, I'm 40. Just so we're clear, I love the flirting. Like, it makes me feel good. But we need to be fairly clear. I am 40 years old. But yeah. And it's like, at the end of the day, your age isn't going to matter. It's not. It's not going to matter. What's going to matter is the impact you had on people. That's it. That's what's going to matter. Mystic says, I got into comics when I was 8. Right on. That's a fair one. I know because I have comics from that year. It was 1994. 1994 was when I have so many comics from 1994 onward. And again, because 94 and 95 were so close to the late 80s, those comics were backstocked everywhere. You could easily find them. So I have older because it was easy to find cheap back issues. But like 1994, those are brand new comics I was reading or looking at even. DC did lock the fuck in at that point, I agree. And when the indie scene exploded, yes. Mystic says, next date you go on, say, you can call me daddy both ways, but please don't. See if it works. I've been taken for a decade, so let me know if this tech works. Oh, right on. I will. Well, dude, you want to talk about being taken for a decade? I was from the age of 18. Wait, how old was I? Shit. Okay. Hold on. From 2007 to 2024, you want to talk about a block of time? You want to really talk about suddenly being single? 2007 to 2024, I was married. I mean, like I wasn't married under the state for all of that time, but there were no breaks. Like there were no cuts. 2007, I was 18 years old. So from the age of 18 to however old I was in 2024, 34, 35, 67, 2024, 34, 35, I don't fucking know. Anyway, but yeah, 18 to 34, I was taken. Like, you know what I mean? I was with one, like, then all of a sudden, I am single dating, and the people that I am dating and flirting with are all, I mean, like, to be fair, I haven't actually dated someone my age. The closest one I dated, she was, because, again, talking like right now ages, 37, she was 34, and then a 30-year-old I dated, and then 26, a couple of girls that were 26, the youngest was 22, and it's just like, but that, and generally speaking, it has rested between 25, 26 has been like the general age of the women that I've been dating since being single. So we're looking at least a 10-year age difference, like, and them being 10 years younger. But yeah, like, And the 22-year-old was a complete fluke because like I didn't know her age. But yeah, you want to talk about like getting thrown, getting taken, and then just being like, you're single now. Like, yeah, that's a long time. It's weird. Like, again, I'm not saying like you're gonna suddenly be single. I'm not saying that. I'm not trying to like. I'm not suggesting like I know some secret like, oh, I know things are rocky. I'm not trying to be an asshole. But like, no, 2007 to 2024, committed relationship. Yeah. And then all of a sudden got to meet new people and date. You don't have to, but it is fun. I mean, I'm not going to lie. Like, it is fun. Dating, I mean, like, beautiful women. Like, hey, it feels good when pretty women are interested in you. You know what I'm saying? It feels good. It's fun. Death is natural, like sex or being bored by football. That's true. Football bores me. Mystic says, you in these streets, the jungle is harsh and unforgiving. Good luck out here. Yeah, it might be difficult if I was looking for something serious. But since I'm not, it's pretty chill. Like, I want, like, when we're done hanging out, I want to go home separately. Like, okay, we've spent time together. You go home now? Or if I'm over at her place, I go home now? Like, so, but I'm in a different phase of my life. Like, I don't have a tick in my brain where I have to find validation by being in a committed relationship or marriage is the most important thing. I don't have that. I had that for like literally entering my adulthood. That's all I knew. I don't miss it. I don't need that. I have my 2 kids that I cherish more than anything, but I don't need to live with someone again. I don't need to put a ring on someone's finger. Like, I don't need them to, I don't need any of that. That might change perspectives. It might be more aggressive. It might be different for people who are like, no, it's the relationship. It's this that I want. It's this that matters to me. But I'm not looking for that. I don't, so it's a lot easier, so to speak. I am a whore. Yeah. I mean, that's what it boils down to. I'm just a whore. But again, no offense to anybody who wants marriage or is looking for that kind of serious thing. You just have to understand the perspective of, I had that for a very long time. It did not matter. In the grand scheme of things, it did not matter. So I'm not looking for it again. Like right now, especially. Like, I know it's been a couple of years, but like 2024 to 2026, I've had so much fun dating, meeting people. I've had so much fun. Like, if marriage comes along later, cool. But like, I was not getting out of marriage to find it again, especially because I think it's unhealthy. I think it's mentally unhealthy. I think to jump from one relationship to another shows a lack of growth, and it shows a desperation and a scare, and it's frightening. I get it. I know it's really frightening to be in a relationship for 10 or more years and to be like, oh, I'm single. You have to embrace it though. You embrace your friends. You embrace your friendships. You date, and you don't hang on every. This is gonna be the next relationship I have. No. You just live and you chill out. You gotta chill. That's it. Let's see. Greg loves his spot. He lacks his space. It's true. I do. I'm not ashamed of it. Mystic says, I've also been told that dating depends on where you live. Upper East Coast dating sounds like hell from my friends. Yeah, I've heard some stories. But again, I have to continue to say, like, when I hear awful dating stories from my friends, they all want that marriage. They all want that. And so I just don't relate because I'm not, And again, I know you might be like, man, 2 years, you're not rushing. I'm not rushing. Like, just to put, because again, to put it into perspective, 18 to 34, I was in a committed relationship. There was no cheating from anybody. There was no breaks. From 18 to 34, we lived together and had 2 kids. I don't need to rush. I have no reason to. And again, I'm not saying that time living with someone was horrific. It wasn't the best. I mean, like, we had very different ideas on life. We were different people inherently. We were young on top of that. But I do not want, it was not my intention to come out of marriage and to be like, I'm going to get married. No. Or to come out, because I mean, dude, I was dating. This is fine. This isn't a bad story. I was debating, but this is fine. I was dating one girl, and like we had only been dating for 2 months, and she was talking about moving in. No. No. My son sleeps in the bed with me. No. Where are you going to sleep? My son has a bedroom. My firstborn has a bedroom. I have a bedroom. Where are you sleeping? Because I know my son has a bedroom, but when it's bedtime, he gets into bed with me. We do story time. We go to bed. Like, that's just it. It's like, where are you sleeping? What are you talking about moving in? This is my closet. Where's your stuff going to go? That's my bathroom. Where's your toothbrush going, man? It's just like, no, like, especially 2 months. Like, come on. No. I think love is important. I think love is valuable. And I fall in love so easily because, like, pretty girls, I mean, like, it feels good. Don't get me wrong. I don't diminish anything about relationships. But I do think when you come out of one that's really serious, you need to give yourself some credit and you need to be like, do not rush it because it is not mentally healthy. It really isn't. That's just proven. It's not healthy. Explore. You know what I'm talking about. You just get out and you explore. That's it. Plus, also, I like my road trips. I like traveling. I went to Arkansas by myself because I didn't have my son and I didn't know like what I was going to do with my time. So I went to Arkansas by myself, and I met the most beautiful woman, and this ties back around. I've loosely mentioned this before. I've never told the full story, and it's not an interesting story. But I met when I went to Arkansas. I met Nora. That was her name. Her name was Nora. I'm talking strikingly beautiful. She had tattoos. Her tattoos were even black like mine. She had tattoos. Her hair was like not blonde, but she had colored her hair. I mean, I will always vividly remember her. She had colored her hair like a silver, and she looked like she walked out of a fantasy book. She was so just magical. She was just stunning. And anytime that I go back around to Arkansas, we touch base, and because we're both single and we're not doing anything wrong. But I met her in Arkansas, and she was my waitress. I went to, there is on a cliff, well, not really a cliff, but like built up on like the hill, there is a pizza shop. And I went to this pizza shop. It was the first stop I made when I went to Arkansas because I heard it had like amazing pizza. And so I sat down. I was eating. I was by myself. And she was my waitress. And she commented on my accent. She said, "Do you live here?" And she had a different accent. very Southern belle, like just a beautiful accent. And I said, no, I'm from Texas. And she was like, oh, are you, you know, because the Springs are, you know, it's a very romantic looking place. And she was like, are you here? And I took this as an opening, so I went with it. And she was like, are you here with your family or a girlfriend? And I said, no, I'm single. I picked a place on the map this weekend to travel to. And I said, I ended up here. So I'm just hanging out for, you know, I'm hanging out for the weekend. And so she was my waitress throughout, you know, me having my late lunch. It was a late lunch, basically. It was like 3 or so, 3:30. And we're flirting throughout. And she finally says, you know, because I kept see it. I kept, you know, throwing out the fishing, you know, I kept throwing out the bait. And she kept taking it every time. And she finally said, you know, I could be off this weekend. And I'm telling you, I turned beet red. I did. I turned beet red because this happened very soon after my divorce, where I just didn't know what to do with my time. Because I didn't know what to do. I had money to spend. I had good money. I was like, and Arkansas was only 3 hours away, and so I went. And when she said I could be off this weekend, man, I turned fucking red. And I know I turned red because not only did I feel it, but she commented on it. And so, and she giggles, and she's like, "Are you embarrassed? Are you really shy?" And I said, "What do you mean?" And she said, "You are red. Like, you are so white. Like, it shows up." And I said, and I just started giggling, and I said, "Well, you're very pretty. You are very pretty." And again, I stayed at that pizza place until she got off work, because she said, "Do you want to wait around? I only have to work for another hour. I'll bring you some, you know, drinks or whatever. You want to just hang out until I get off?" And that was on a Friday. And so from Friday at maybe 4, Friday at about 4:30, we walked out. And so from that Friday to I didn't leave until Monday. This random girl. That's it. It was the greatest. I mean, like, that was awesome. I loved it. There was no baggage. There was no, what are we? Nobody was acting weird. We were 2 adults. And there's not even proper words to describe her, because she is legitimately just that stunningly gorgeous. She just is just that stunningly gorgeous. And I will, nothing ever has to come of that besides that weekend. And that's my point. Like, nothing ever has to come. You need to experience life and don't have any regrets. Like, no matter what, you're going to have a story to tell. You know what I'm saying? You're going to have a story to tell. And that's it. Do we stay in touch? Casually. And anytime I pop back into Arkansas, like, well, not anytime, but like ever so often, if I'm back in Arkansas, you know, hiking or whatever, we might see each other or something like that. But that's it. And we're both single. Like, and I wouldn't ask for anything more. I would not ask for anything more from that experience. It was perfect. And it just left a lasting impact. Ethereal? Maybe even ethereal. Ethereal, it might be a great way. She is so enchanting and magical and ethereal. And the women that I'm drawn to are generally that way, in my opinion. But I would not trade that experience. I would not try to make that experience more than what it was or less than what it was. Excuse me, I love that experience. And she doesn't know it, but she is the basis for the character in one of my comics. Okay, so hold on. I know I got... I got sidetracked. Okay, Diogo says Greg loves creating connections wherever he goes or play fights with. I mean, that's true. Mystic says, I also think there needs to be a big conversation about emotional maturity in the modern dating market because sometimes I got to set my friends of all genders straight about their behavior and expectations. Oh, yeah, I absolutely agree. I mean, like emotional maturity, men especially need a reminder about consent, and also like if the vibes, I mean, like if she, because generally if she is not reciprocating, you need to move on. Like if Nora wasn't, throwing pitches at me, so to speak, because I mean, like you can usually feel it, but like it became as the lunch went on blatantly obvious. Like she thinks I'm cute, she knows I don't live here. This could be like, so I pursued it. Mystic says deli slinging. Deli slinging? I don't know what that means. Deli slinging? Anyway, Diogo says, just sounds to me like the universe gave you the biggest reward after what you lived through from your previous entanglement. Mystic says this, the universe speaks. Mystic says, God, I wish more of my single friends held that perspective. I wish more people did too. I think more. I know you say friends, and I know you're pretty open-ended, but generally speaking, men are the problem. Mystic says there are so many dudes who can't accept no as a full sentence, and we gotta clamp that shit down. I'm right there with you. I'm right fucking there with you. I tell you, if my son, like consent, I've already taught it to my son. My son asks before, not me, of course, but if it's a friend or if it's a person at the park and Anakin wants to hug them, he asks them. And again, they're kids, so 99% of the time, honestly, 100% of the time, I don't think a kid has ever said no to a hug. Anakin gets to hug. Now you got to understand. I know not every kid does the hugging. Anakin is in. I am a very hugging person. I love hugging. I am a touchy person. My love language is touch. Like if you want to talk this love language shit, my love language is touch. I love touching. I love being touched. I know it sounds funny, but it's true. And I love hugging. My son and I, like, I have a giant ass fucking sofa. My son and I are cooped up right together on one corner of the sofa. We are scrunched up together playing video games. Like, there is so much kind of love and affection in the household. So that's expressed with other people. And I'm not going to lie. I'm very PDF. I will hold hands. I don't like dating, anything like that. I love hand holding. I'm going to kiss you. You're going to get kissed. Like, you can ask Rob. Like, even guys, you're going to get a kiss. Like, you are. You have to look disgusting not to get a kiss from me. You're going to get a kiss. Like that's just it. The bros are going to get a kiss. You know what I'm saying? And if I'm dating you, you're going to get kissed a lot. You know what I'm saying? You just are. Like, I'm like that. I'm very that kind of affectionate type person. I love hand holding. I love picking up people and carrying them. Most of the women that I've dated since being single are generally like 5'2", so they hop on my back. Like, they're just that small and that easy to carry. I love all that stuff. So like, consent is a very important part of that, and you have to understand when it's no, it's no. And it's the guy's fault. Like, these guys are fucking creeps. Let's see. Mystic says, I had to learn how to accept touch. That is my fiance's love language. In fact, I got to go bother her now. Peace. Oh, right on. Yeah, I'm getting off too. I got to cook dinner. This is my first day finally, like, being home. And, like, I'm going to enjoy the evening and relax. All right. So, Mystic, go on. Have a good one. If you and your fiance need an extra toucher, hit me up, man. Like, I platonically. I can platonically give hugs out and do touching. All right. We are wrapping up here, too. I got a couple of things I need to do before I relax to play games, because I'm home. I'm home tonight. I'm going to relax. I haven't been home in a couple of days. I'm ready to relax. Okay, so that's it. I'm going to do one last quick search for any breaking news. Nothing there. Nintendo? Fuck. Nothing with Nintendo either. All right, that's it. I'm going now. I don't know if I'll be live tomorrow, but I will be around to play video games in the evening tomorrow. Oh, speak of the devil. I'm gonna go now. I'll see you guys on Discord if you're about to hang out, play games. But now I really have to go. Okay.